Alright, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. episode 9, You Enter Here. And at first I was thinking we'd finally be able to see the city, the ancient city of the aliens. But no, instead we get a small little hole and then a glimpse at a rock with the formations on them, or the drawings. And then Mac going completely crazy, and then we have to seal the tunnel, probably waiting to see the ancient city until much later in the season. So that's kind of a disappointment. And in fact, I was a little confused near the end with Mac. Because at first I'm thinking, okay, it's like a poison that infects your mind and makes you go crazy, attack your friends and anyone around you. But at the same time, Coulson said that wasn't Mac, because that would insinuate that Mac was being possessed. Now, if that's true, then that would mean the aliens had to leave behind something, some alien life form, or maybe their minds, and they can actually enter a body that they deem unworthy. Or maybe Mac was worthy and they decided, hey, you get to be the new, rulers of the earth, so we get to invade your body. If that's true, then that would mean Sky can also be possessed, or Reina. But, again, this is very confusing. Alien technology has always been confusing. In fact, how they always come up with a way to turn off technology, even though technology didn't even exist when they were actually here, is beyond me. I mean, did they just assume this is the path most people would take to achieve technology? It's like, okay, in 1,000 years, they'll most likely be using electricity. Let's use that. Or nanotechnology. We'll find a way to counteract that. Because that would have to mean that back on their home world, they also used electricity and at some point use the same technology that we have today, or at least what they have, in S.H.I.E.L.D. But again, I'm probably looking too much into it. It's aliens. Greatest explanation of all. Aliens, they can do anything. But, that's just me. But either way, it's assumed that Mac is now dead, or at least locked away behind in that tunnel. Or maybe he's going to come back in some way. I have no idea. But either way, that's impressive because we got to know Mac pretty well during the season. So to kill him off right now, why did I say meow? It's like a cat. Either way, right now is actually very impressive because while we didn't get too much background on the character, we still got some nice moments with him interacting with the team. So he was actually a pretty cool guy. So to see him kind of die is very sad and surprising to a certain extent, showing that, yeah, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., not as campy and happy as you would expect it to be. It's actually willing to go to a darker tone, and I like that. Either way, that's pretty much what happens with Coulson's team. But at the same time, it brings up a good question as to why he left Sky behind, because he figures out that Hydra is looking for Reina, so he decides to bring Reina in. So that would mean Hydra would be coming after S.H.I.E.L.D., trying to get to Reina, which would mean that they would have to get Sky too, because she's along the way. She's right next to Reina, and he doesn't want Sky to get involved, with Hydra, because he pretty much already knows that her father is now with Hydra. So, yeah, if you want to keep her away from her father, keep her away from Reina, but he just leaves her behind. So, I don't know. Maybe he just let his emotions get the best of him, because this episode did show a very distinct difference between Coulson as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Fury as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. Fury was willing to do whatever was necessary, even some of the stuff that would be deemed immoral and just plain out wrong. But it was for the greater good. Coulson is just so emotional and just so in touch with everyone's feelings and how they're thinking that he can sometimes let it cloud his mind and his better judgment. He's actually willing to put his own team at risk to save, the common good. But at the same time, he doesn't want to risk anyone from his team. So it just kind of counteracts, any decision he tries to make. So maybe he'll learn along the way that sometimes you have to make tough decisions to do the right thing. You have to let certain people die. And while that may be sad and very harsh, it does work. In fact, it's worked many times in history. Maybe in the future there'll be a better way, but for now, there is no better way. It's the way it works. but that's just me. Either way, back with Hydra, they're looking for Reyna because obviously she can hold the obelisk, and they, that would mean that she knows how to get to the temple, or at least enter it. So obviously, they send Agent 33 or 37. And I know it's in the 30s, but Agent Evil May. I'm calling her Evil May because that's pretty much what they call her, the Evil May twin. In fact, it's kind of sad that now she has to be stuck with that face for the rest of her life, with all kind of messed up on this side. It's just like, ouch. I mean, let's hope she never has to date, because that would be brutal. But either way, it's actually very nice to see the twins, or I assume triplets. They were triplets before Ward killed one of them. But the twins, just kind of mess with Mac, or no, with Trent. Or Trip, sorry. Trip. With the whole, we have 13 brothers. He's like, 13! They're like, they always fall for that. I mean, they're just hilarious. And they're just so cute together sometimes, because when they're saying, like, oh, it's so cool, an Evil Maid twin. Damn it, Sam, will you stop being a little fanboy? It's just like, what? Oh, these guys are just so lovable. They're so excitable, and I can't help but smile when they're laughing and having fun, because they try to have fun all the time. I mean, sure, they're secret agents saving the world and stopping villains, but that doesn't mean they can't have fun doing it, and they do have fun. So I have fun, and that I like that. But either way, Whitehall, or at least some of his agents, find a way to hack into S.H.I.E.L.D's mainframe, or at least their jet computer. And, of course, Ward comes in saying we came here for Reyna, and at the same time, Skye. And it's a nice little surprise when they say, I thought you went through all the trouble to bring us, one of Whitehall's top men, and now you're with Hydra again. So pick a side. And he said, and of course, Ward's pretty much saying, I did pick a side. Now, it could be a hint that he's still working with them, just, under Hydra's nose. Or, maybe he's just working for himself. It's like, hey, whatever helps me accomplish my goals, whatever those goals may be. And I do like that he still remembers that promise. Like, I promised to take you to your father, and I'm here to keep that promise. Now, again, that could be a very bad thing, because that would mean Skye has to be in Hydra's possession now. But of course, Whitehall seems to not like the idea that Skye is with them. So that was a surprise, because that would mean now that Skye's father would have what he wants, Skye. So there might be no other reason for him to stay with Hydra. And that's kind of a negative, because there's still so much information that he hasn't shared with Whitehall. So that's interesting. And other than that, there really isn't much, but like I said, I was actually hoping for the city to come up, in this episode, but no, we just get more hints at how dangerous it is. And also destroying the whole ancient city, I don't know. I kind of think an ancient city like that should be preserved, but again, that's just me. And it shows a big difference between Coulson and Fury. The differences they would have done as director of S.H.I.E.L.D. And the only other thing of note was when Bobby and Mac were talking, Mac was telling her not to drag Hunter into something. Now, at first when he had this look at the two of them, making kissy faces, I was thinking like, okay, was there a history between Mac and Bobby? But then that would be like a love triangle, and I don't want that to be in this show. But then, it's revealed that there's some kind of secret mission or secret group or some secret between the two that they know about, some history, and they don't want to bring Hunter into it because it's too dangerous or something like that. Either way, it creates more mystery. And now that Bobby is the only one that knows, it's her secret to keep or tell Hunter. Either way, I'm excited, I'm intrigued, and really, I can't predict what's going to happen. I'm still hoping if we get the ancient city sometime next couple episodes, because I don't want to wait until the very finale and we don't get enough time to explore this grand city. I assume it's going to be big, because I don't think a city should be really small, like a little confined cave. It should be huge. But again, that's just me. Anyway, I'm excited. I'm happy with this episode. It's fun. It's full of mystery and intrigue, and really just hypes me up for the next one. So until then, I'm Tony Dragon. Bye-bye.